I'm here on the corner of Highway 101 and Skokomish Valley Road with West Mason Fire Chief Matt Welander. How you doing?
Good.
We are talking about this last week's unprecedented rain, the king tides, and all the issues that came about of this. Of course, folks who live on Skokomish Valley Road understand the troubles that it has during weather events. But you were telling me that this is the worst you've seen since you were a kid around these parts.
Yeah, this is the highest water I've seen since they fixed 101, obviously. But yeah, this was as big as I've seen since probably high school.
Wow.
So
Some of the photos that came out of your West Mason Facebook page were pretty shocking, as a matter of fact, when it came to some of your rescue vehicles, how much water came up to almost the doors or covering the lights, right?
actually, the water was inside the cab, up on the driver. There are some pictures of that somewhere. But you figure the wheels on that thing are about 3.5 feet tall, and then the doors are about 4 feet. Typically, we don't like to go in over 5 feet,
Right.
Because that would be about that high.
Yeah.
And but obviously we will if a life's in danger.
Sure.
And we did go in to get somebody whose medications had actually floated away.
Oh my God. The other thing that we saw, and you showed me a picture of this, was just around the first bend here on the straightaway, you will see a speed limit sign, and you were telling me that out.
The bottom of the sign is about 7 feet high.
Okay.
And if you look at the picture, and I'm sure you're going to put one out there
right here.
The water was just shy of the bottom of that sign. So, the top of a pickup truck, even a good one, is going to be about here. So that was well over what anybody would be able to get through.
Now, the folks who live on the road, they've become used to this, but there are people that come and travel, and we've seen it every year when the rains come. They've got the B-roll of the salmon going across the river, and the whole country goes, oh my gosh, it must be amazing in the Northwest. But it can cause some really serious concerns, not only for the folks who are in those cars, but for West Mason Fire specifically, with mostly volunteer fire crews. Yep. How does this work for them?
Well, it is like you say, we're mostly volunteer. We'll come out and get you. If it's really deep water or kind of sketchy, we'll use the Mason County Special Operations crew.
Okay.
And they'll ride out in the back of our truck, and we actually train on. We'll put a ladder right through the driver's window of a vehicle onto the hood. We can back up to a house and put it through a window or onto a porch, whatever we need to do. But we use specially trained folks for that.
Right.
The volunteers, they may be driving, they could be helping in the back. They may be driving the backup vehicle in case we get stuck, because that does happen. But yeah, it is a mostly volunteer operation, and but we do use specially trained people for that.
The risk is great. I saw the photo of somebody heading out to rescue, and they had the rope tied to them or whatever it was, and these situations where, while sometimes can come out of nowhere, these are foreseen now with the weather forecasts and the days of the weather forecasting. So there's really no need for people to come and be a looky-loo here on this.
No, and I'll be honest, primarily the locals, the people that live in the valley, they know the what's what. They're not going to go out and do stupid stuff. We rarely have to even go and talk to them about much of anything. But we have rescued people out of vehicles with Texas license plates on.
They just come to see what it's like.
They want to come see what it's like. I mean, it's a beautiful area with a very interesting kind of backdrop. When people ask where I'm from, I say, on the news where they show the salmon on the street, that's us.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay,
now
I got
they
it.
know. Exactly.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a thing, and there's enough video out there, there's enough on the news. That's what it looks like. It doesn't change when you get any closer, other than the fact that you could be literally swept away and drowned, tangled up in a barbed wire fence someplace.
So talk to me again about what the risk is of driving over. We don't know if the roadway has washed away.
Correct.
We don't know if there's going to be maybe power lines or something like that, God forbid, down on the roads. We don't know if a rush would come across too and push a car, or what are some of the
Sure.
other things that could happen?
One of the things that people don't think about is how heavy water is. And so when it's driving 10 miles an hour, it will pick up a vehicle at even a foot deep and sweep it off the road. And we've had vehicles swept off in only a foot of water. The problem isn't the water on the road. The problem is that the ditches around here are,
They're
you
deep.
know, 2, 3, 5, 8 feet deep. And so if it sweeps you off the road, you're just underwater.
Yeah.
And in the last year, we've had 3 different cars submerged in the ditches over by Polly Jacobs that, you know, people have had to swim in and get folks out or do whatever. Plus, remember, you're surrounded by barbed wire. There's logs floating in it. One of the problems that we had yesterday or the day before doing a rescue was we couldn't get the flood truck in because there were too many logs in the road. So it isn't even just the deep water. It's there's a comedian out there. It's just not that the water is flowing. It's that what's in the water,
Right.
and that's kind of what we were up against.
So we are right in front of the flood advisory sign. You
Yep.
see these, and it comes down here, and you see it may become impassable at times. There's also the large road closed signs that go across Skokomish Valley Road here. So if you see those, you do not go around. They're closed for a reason. Illegal, right? Is that
Yep.
what I saw?
It is illegal. You can't drive past a road closed sign. So, yeah, you're taking that risk also.
So just make sure that when you see this weather event happen, or you're coming around and you notice this, the road closed, do not go through. Do everything you can to back up and turn around in a safe manner. Not only is it for your safety, the people in your car's safety, but it's for the fire crew's safety here, who have to go out and look and assess their whole district here at West Mason Fire, specifically in this area. Mostly with volunteers, and those folks put in their time as well to make sure everybody is safe. So it's just another reminder. It happens every year, but we did have some unprecedented rain and those king tides that kind of was a big confluence there.
Yep. Yeah, when the water doesn't have any place to go, it just backs up and gets deep. And that was really the other day what we were up against. But you know, there are times where it floods and the tide isn't high, and those times you'll tend to see the water go even faster because it does have some place to go, and it is heading downhill. So those are the times to even be more careful.
Here on the corner of Highway 101 and Skokomish Valley Road with West Mason Fire Chief Matt Welander. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.